was going to be late today, so she asked me if I would chair the Education and Planning Committee, and so I am. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. The first order of business today would be an overview of the Victor campus, and Ron is right behind me. Okay, you're up.
Well, welcome to the Victor Campus Center. Hopefully a brief update here of summer 2025. Name's Don Emberfire, don't know. We'll review the last part of spring 2025, look at summer 25 this summer, then take a brief look at fall. In the spring, we had our Career Expo and Job Fair, our third one, in April. We had 12 technology businesses that participated. They were set up in here, talked to prospective students, prospective employees, family members. So that was a great success. We had a discussion panel about an hour in. Attendees could talk to different personnel from companies and some of our alumni, question and answer session, so that was well received. Basically, I had an open house as well. We had our instructors here, director of admissions, career services coordinator. Those folks were here. Workforce and Career Solutions did a very interesting VR equipment demonstration. They demoed the virtual welding, which is very popular right now. I'm sure we'll talk a bit more. Our Engineering, Science, and Tech Club did a demonstration of some of the robotics that they've been involved in. They've won a competition in the last 4 years at FCC for UAV and robotics. So we're very proud of that. And we had 48 attendees, so great event. We did something new this year, Smart Systems Technologies Info Evening. Dr. Sam Samantha presented information about his program. And we had a discussion panel similar to what we did at the Career Expo. That was very well received. Students took questions, answers, and alumni. After that, we did a lab visit, and overall we had 30 attendees. So we're happy about that. We'll probably do that again next year. Also, hopefully for the architecture program. So that was well received. We had visits, Urban League of Rochester. They show up every fall and spring, so that's great. P-Tech, we had a couple of the classes for P-Tech, actually all 4, sophomore, junior, and seniors. So they have 2 come in this fall, 2 in the spring. So we had that. Red Creek, we had students from Red Creek visit. This summer, STEAM camps. We had STEAM camps at all 3 campus centers. Victor, Geneva, and Newark. Our theme here was STEAM in Motion, and that was the week of July 7th through 11th. We had campus registered, grades 6 through 9. Their schedule is 8:30 to 3. They had basically a morning session, learning session, and an afternoon session with lunch in between. They brought their own lunch. That's important because we gave them lunch last year. They really liked it, so worked out better. They brought the food they liked. And we actually brought that cost down from $300 last year to $250 by not buying lunch. And we had 2 scholarships available at each campus center. Victor, we did use both scholarships here this year. Other activities, new student registrations, all the campus center staff followed this all summer long. Each week we take individual phone appointments, in-person appointments, and we're having a group registration this weekend. Admissions assistants, that's something new we're doing this year. We're helping out the admissions department. We're making calls to admit students that have not registered yet. So we're answering questions and providing information that they may need. There's lots and lots of those, so lots of work there. And same thing for matriculate students. Same type of phone calls and answering questions they might have. So, see what a lot of phone calls. SUNY Reconnect. I'm sure you're going to talk about that more later, but so won't go into the information about that. But just wanted you to be aware that all 4 of our programs here are eligible for the Reconnect. So that should be very good for us here in Victor. Enrollment so far, well, actually, as of July 25th, increased from last year's 7 students. So 6.1% change. FTE went up even more. We had an 18.1% increase in FTE from 20.4 to 21.1. Happy about that. You can see that the part-timers are really a big difference. 17.9% increase and 35.3% for FTE. I think as of Monday, we had 5 more students. And I think over the last couple of days, we had more, so. Some other activities, community education. We've got an inner Spanish class. We have a financial planning boot camp. The Spanish class will be starting in September. Financial course will be in late October, going to November. This year, we're trying to coordinate between the 3 centers synchronously. So each center has a couple attendees together. We'll have enough for a class. Did that. Return to class in spring, and it worked out pretty well. So hopefully that'll go well. On-campus visits for prospective students and guests. Always have appointments every Thursday and Friday at 10 o'clock and 2 for anybody that wants to come visit us. Tech students, like we said, there'll be a couple of the classes we'll be visiting fall. Urban Lake shows up every year. We'll have a visit with them. We have a fall visit day that'll probably be in mid-October. So we'll get that scheduled. Admissions always has a large open house at the main campus. Hundreds of people show up every year. It's really admissions event, but campus centers help out with that. Just about every other. So for that, high school students will have our normal visits this year. We want to try to actually have kind of like a college student for a day type of thing. And students shadow others, perspectives shadow other students that are here. Students that are really interested in finding out about one of our programs. So hopefully we can get some of them over here to spend a day here, have them visit some classes, they can get a lunch, that type of thing. Victor Farmington Library last year, they were gracious and letting us set up over there, just down the street. Set up tables, our information out, have some of our tech guys go over it, some demos. So we're trying to draw interest from people that probably don't come here. Some don't even know that our campus is here. So we're going to do that. And this partnership with Victor is something we've been working on for a couple of years. And when I say we, many cabinet members and I, others have been working on that. This year, finally, they're going to attend for virtual welding. It's like 20 students that signed up this far. So it looks like it's going to be pretty popular. They'll take courses here. 2 days, 1 week, 3 days the next week. They're on a 2-3 schedule. In the afternoon, they'll be the whole semester. In January, they'll actually do, so that's all virtual. January, they'll actually do a practical at a shop, actually work with welding equipment. And they'll get the certification good. So the idea here is only about a 3-minute drive Victor as opposed to like a 40-minute drive to most of these paths. So helpful. And the training will be done by a workforce solutions. Any questions?
Questions? That?
So just more of a market potential question. Victor's arguably probably the highest enrolled high school in Ontario, Canada. And they're graduating somewhere between 325. Joan would probably know better than I. But I think I'm in the right ballpark.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, 323. Kindergartens, some of the, so the College Board says that across the country, 38% of students are enrolled or accepted to be, or admitted into four-year school. So that leaves 62% for post-secondary education. So I think it's a big opportunity, especially with a campus that might be struggling for enrollment, to really look at more creative and non-traditional ways to, like you alluded to a couple of them already, that would appeal to maybe that audience. I mean, somebody that's a big percentage, 62% of a high school graduating class, especially with the size of that enrollment. So just a thought, just on the top of my head.
I've been working very tenaciously to try to get one
it's a,
aspect or another. So hopefully that's just the beginning of a little.
exactly.
Yeah,
Sometimes that's all it takes, is just like something that sparks, unattended.
Victor said,
That was very cheap. But,
yeah, Victor said that we start with this building course, then hopefully, we can build.
yeah, so it's, if there's anything that I professionally or personally can assist with this, I'm very familiar with the K-12 arena, and especially high schools. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you very much for hosting this this evening. We appreciate it. All right, next will be the review of the minutes. Are there any additions, corrections to the minutes of June 4th? Seeing none, I will move on to Carol Bates for enrollment update.
Afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So the final summer report as of July 25th is included in your board meeting packet. Headcount realized a 6% increase over summer 2024, and FTE realized a 7.1% increase over summer 2020. So overall, summer was a success. So I'll ask any questions before I move on to fall. Okay. So fall 2025 headcount and FTE included in the board packet reflected a 4.3% decrease in headcount and a 4.5% decrease in FTE as of July 25th. So additional new student registration options, including evening and weekend appointments, via group, phone, or individual appointments at all campus locations, so main campus and pre-campus centers, were added the week of July 20th. Since the expansion of new student registration options, headcount and FTE continues to show improvement. As of Friday, August 1st, fall headcount and FTE reflected a 3% decrease. And we have seen an influx of over 500 applications after May, largely due to the SUNY Reconnect program. So as of Monday, August 4th, we have a total of 4,942 applications. compared to 4,029 for the same time period in 2024, an increase of 913 applications. It's important to note that many of these applicants are enrolling as part-time students, which is reflected in the enrollment report in the board packet. For example, as of Friday, August 1st, part-time new and continuing student enrollment has increased 19% and 8.1% respectively. The SUNY Reconnect enrollment funnel for adults aged 25 to 55 with no prior college degree reflects the following. In terms of applications, we have received 316 applications from first-time students, freshmen. We've received 541 applications from transfer students. Admits, 197 first-time freshmen have been admitted and 340 transfer students have been admitted. Enrolled, we have 64 first-time freshmen enrolled and 111 transfer students enrolled. And again, this was as of yesterday. Also, continuing students who qualify for SUNY Reconnect. We have 169 who have received their SUNY Reconnect awards as of August. So I'll ask you if you have questions.
Questions for Carol?
We are closing the gap.
And
When is the last day for registration?
We have 4 weeks to
Oh,
go.
4 whole weeks. So
Not that I'm counting.
well, I can have it in 4 weeks. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Let's see, Laura, you are going to look at student success.
Absolutely. There it is. Uh-oh, it's the blue screen of that.
Bruce,
It doesn't have it on that.
Well, as it is getting started, we will get and hopefully, it will come back to life. So, good evening, and thank you for this opportunity. Oh, it looks like we might. Okay, I'm not gonna look at it, it'll probably come right up. To provide the student success update. Tonight, I'll be walking you through our recent ASA, Academic and Student Affairs Division reorganization, which is a strategic initiative rooted in people, purpose, and progress, and designed to ensure that we are best positioned to support FLCC students and employees. It looks happy. Perfect. And this presentation is in your board packet, so now I'll just be walking you through the different areas, but this is the overarching visual. So first, I'd like to preface this with what was the rationale, what was the reason that we organized. Initially, it was from our ASA division goal number 5, which was around achieving performance excellence for the division. But that goal is much more than structure. It's about outcomes. So we asked ourselves, how can we best align our resources, leverage the expertise of our colleagues, and reduce confusion for students and employees? And the answer was, board. So the answer was to clarify our structure, increase synergy across our units, and make our services easier to access and navigate. So we have a saying that when we're clear, we're kind. And in our context, our kindness means that we are being purposeful, accessible, and responsive to the needs of our community. So we will first take a look at student affairs. So we've reorganized student affairs into 4 clearly defined centers, each with a distinct mission and student-centered focus. So the Center for Student Success now houses our student support programs and our new coaching model. And we moved tutoring away from that area, but we'll speak to that later. And then the Center for Academic Advising and Transfer Services is now specifically focused on academic pathways, advising, and transfer. And the career piece has been moved also to be addressed later to our workforce, career, and experiential learning director. Okay, the third center is the Center for Student Involvement and Leadership. This was formerly called Student Life, which that term can mean everything or nothing for students. The new name provides clarity and reflects the programming that students will actually find. And then the Center for Student Wellbeing now also includes disability services, so that we're taking care of the whole student from academic accommodations, physical well-being, and mental health. Curriculum and instruction. The title of this slide is Together at Last. So this is bringing together curriculum and instruction under one academic leader to have unified leadership and also have that support for all academic programs, faculty, and concurrent enrollment in one unit. It also brings together much needed coherence and academic operations in terms of these faculty matters. So it reaffirms the faculty voice and also contributes to our shared leadership and governance. Next, please. Academic innovation and learning resources, a hub of synergy. So this unit brings together integrated academic and workforce support. So now all of the tutoring services, whether in person, virtual, or online, are all housed under one leader. They will be reporting to the director of the library. So we'll have the library and learning resources. ASA professional development will also live here. And as I mentioned earlier, we moved career services under the director of workforce, career, and experiential learning. So this will strengthen those connections between our non-credit and credit programming, internships, job readiness, internships, externships, and global education. So this is a space where teaching, learning, and doing all intersect. So we are realigned for impact. Please. So in summary, these structural changes are not about shifting boxes on an org chart. They were about centering our students and the people who support that. So you can see many of the resulting outcomes here, but it truly is a structure that reflects our values of vitality, inquiry, perseverance, and interconnectedness. And most importantly, the ASA vision is now aligned with passionate support that meets our students' academic, career, social, emotional, and well-being needs with purpose, care, and clarity. And with that, I would welcome your questions as we continue this work together. Yes, Lily?
So you made a really important statement. You said it's not just a structural diagram. It's really put in, it's fully successfully implemented. It's going to be implemented.
Yes.
So I had a million questions, but one that came to mind right away was, not a million, I don't.
Yes.
One that came to mind right away was rearranging the deck chairs in terms of, and then also who's not only rearranging the chairs, but then who sits in what chair. So is that the next phase of restructuring or not?
So in fact, there's a few pieces that you're going to see tonight. So for example, the Associate Provost of Student Affairs.
Oh, I saw I'm ahead of myself. Okay.
Yes, so we've been working through this basically throughout the academic year. So what you see here will be effective for fall 2025.
Okay.
So we are making these transitions as they are approved. And yes, so our leadership, so Sarah Woodman is the Associate Provost, as she will be. Right now, Associate Vice President of Student Affairs. We just recently hired the new Associate Provost of Curriculum and Instruction, who started on Monday. So that is Dr. Medea Ravish. She would have loved to have been here this evening, but she had a scheduled vacation. So, and so that is the reimagined position. And then Ronnie McCabe as the Associate Provost of Academic Innovation and Learning Resources. So the three Associate Provosts have been working with their units, right, to make these transitions, and this has been transpiring throughout the academic 24-25 year.
Any other questions? Okay, Laura, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have some adjustments to be made to the professional service positions and some reappointments, and Brittany, you're going to take care of that?
Yep.
Thank you.
So we have two new positions. The first one is the Student Project Support Specialist for Finger Lakes Mosaic Collective. This position is a part-time grant-funded position created to provide day-to-day support for high school students enrolled in FLCC's new experiential learning program called Finger Lakes Mosaic Collective. The second one is Project Support Specialist for Finger Lakes Mosaic Collective. This position is a part-time grant-funded position created to assist students in the identification of strategies to meet the needs of clients and candidate business districts.
Questions on the positions? Questions?
All right, we have two positions with revised job descriptions. The first is the Associate Provost of Student Affairs. As part of the strategic reorganization of the Academic and Student Affairs Division, this exempt position replaces the position of Associate Vice President of Student Affairs. This revised college-funded position will remain within Group 3 of Management Confidential. The next one is Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Specialist. This professional position classification replaces the Student Life Specialist for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. This is a part-time, 10-month grant-funded personal services contract position.
Jeff, questions?
Grant funded by whom?
Ooh, yes, do you know if it's state grant, federal grant money?
student affairs grant money. It's a paid position that's been, that's part of the student affairs budget. It's the last time I talked to the CFO.
Okay,
You have to get more.
No.
good question.
That's it for positions.
Any other questions? Comments? Okay, thank you very much.
I have one more.
Oh, you have one more? I'm sorry.
So this, next resolution is for non-unit employee reappointments in management confidential. At this time, we're looking to reappoint, non-unit exempt and non-exempt management confidential employees as previously included in your board of trustees packet for the 2025-26 fiscal year.
Everybody's okay? All right, thank you very much. Laura, you are back and you're going to present a couple of things. Management certificates and we're just continuing a couple of courses.
Thank you. Yes, so the first that I have for your consideration this evening is the creation of the wine service management certificate. So this is a new certificate, and it is bringing together for folks who are interested in viticulture, culinary, hospitality. In fact, the certificate courses are embedded within the AAS degree of event and hospitality management. So it is very well aligned, and it also serves those who are interested in wine, but perhaps not in the science behind it, the chemistry, and or actually the cultivation, the farm experience.
Questions?
Okay. And the second is the discontinuance of the humanities track of the Associate Arts in Liberal Arts and Sciences program. The reduction of that track, as you may recall, this degree used to have 5 tracks, and we are slowly reducing the number of tracks in order to increase the flexibility of that AALAS degree. So at this point, it is with the elimination of that, for students who know exactly what they're looking to pursue in terms of a major, they can focus on that coursework, if they're interested in history or in psychology. On the other hand, if they don't know what they're interested in, it gives them the ability to explore different disciplines within the degree. Also, another advantage of this is that the micro-credentials, the vast majority of them are also housed within this degree, so that students, if they choose, can graduate with both a micro-credential in a specific area as well as their AA. Any questions?
Questions, comments? All right.
Thank you.
All right, now it's on to the strategic thought discussion, and that is going to be led today by Kristen Lenore.
Proceed to Victor Heights Parkway. I fear if I stand behind here, you won't see me.
Yeah.
I should go over here. Practice, perfect. Okay, hi, everyone. Thank you for having us tonight. My name is Kristen Accardi. I'm the Director of Marketing here at FLCC. I'm joined by Lenore Brent, Director of PR and Communication. And we're here to talk to you about how we are jointly promoting the SUNY Reconnect program. We've heard a lot about that already in the news, and we know this is the new state initiative offering bring community college degrees to adults in eligible programs. So Lenore and I are both responsible for communicating the value of an FLCC education. The way that we do that is often different. However, we use this framework as a starting point for our work. So whether I'm creating or crafting an advertising campaign, or Lenore is writing a press release for the media, we are asking ourselves these questions as a framework to guide our work. So first we think about who is our audience, what are their challenges, their opportunities, what does that audience need to hear from us? Where do they need to hear our messages to create the biggest impact? And then how do we know that it worked? How do we know that the outcome was successful? So we're going to walk through what we've done with SUNY Reconnect based on this framework tonight.
So it all starts with the audience. That is the most important thing. So for SUNY Reconnect, we have a very specific audience that's been defined by legislation, so that certainly helps. The goal for this audience is also defined by the legislation. What the legislation doesn't really cover is all the challenges. These are things that we have to consider. The money takes, or the legislation takes care of paying for college. It addresses the time element a little bit, but it does not deal with family obligations, the child care, the lack of support, and then the fear and doubt. So these are some things that we have to add into the messaging above and beyond just what SUNY Connect provides, because we really want to speak to this audience, not just tell them about the legislation. So these are the core messages, and so you will see one of these messages, some of these messages in all of our communications. Some of it might be explained a little bit differently, expressed a little bit differently. And you can see with the last one, it's your turn, invest in yourself. That gets at some of those emotional reasons why you might not go to college, why you need that push, that boost of your confidence to go. So we have to, again, talk about the legislation, the program, what it gives you, but additional things that you really need to consider and you might want to consider.
So once we've developed those messages and we know what we want our audience to hear, we then take a look at our channels. Where do we have available to us to put these messages out to the community? So we like to use the PISO model, so paid, earned, shared, owned, as a way to look at the options we have to make sure that we get the message out there as broadly as possible. So we'll go through each one of these. From a paid perspective, this is the monetary investment that we're making at the college level, and sometimes we have grant funding available to help us in initiatives to purchase advertising. So what we've done for SUNY Reconnect is we've invested in some audio ads through Spotify, which also has a digital component. We purchased a big billboard on Route 332 coming up to the college. Maybe some of you have seen it. Very crisp and clear for folks that are driving, but we jokes, don't take a photo of the billboard. That was not taken by a driver. So our vendor did that for us. So we also did some search ads on Google. So when people are searching, SUNY Reconnect is being heavily promoted by SUNY itself and many other colleges. So it's a highly trafficked keyword right now. We also purchased ads on Meta, which is the Facebook and Instagram properties. And you'll see that we're really trying to keep audience in mind. We're trying to use images, calls to action, and messaging that resonates with the adult audience so that we can speak to them and make sure that they understand FLCC is a place where adult students even succeed, regardless if they are eligible for SUNY Reconnect or not. So these are just some of those examples.
So on the earned side, we have to be a little bit more nuanced. Once SUNY announced the program, we can't re-announce it every week. So we have to find a different way of talking about it. So what I've tried to do is talk about the programs that are eligible that are not going to get as much attention. I mean, nursing gets lots of attention. That program fills up. EMT gets lots of attention. That program fills up. A lot of people don't fully know what smart system technologies is. So getting a front page article in the Finger Lakes Times is really helpful to help people understand what that program is. I also, Dr. Irachi gave a podcast interview on the engineering program, which is also eligible. When he does that interview, it gives us a podcast link that we share out through social media and other ways. He talked about SUNY Reconnect. So we didn't specifically talk about SUNY Reconnect at the get-go, but within all of these, we have them talk about, oh, by the way, SUNY Reconnect is a way to get involved in this. And we've done 3 total radio shows since this was announced, and each radio show has had some element talked about it, including the one on the Success Coach program. So again, not directly SUNY Reconnect, but when Dustin Stolnaker did that interview, we made sure that he talked about how great it is if you were at Student Reconnect and you were nervous about going back to school, you will have a success coach. Isn't that great? So getting at it a little bit sideways. Shared is a little bit similar. You know, again, you have to be a little bit more nuanced with this. We were able to capitalize on the healthcare aspect because the announcement was made right before the nursing penny. So we had all these great celebratory photos, and some of these nurses, especially this one was in her 30s, so we were able to kind of show the adult link there. Another thing about social media is that you don't always want the institution to be sharing it. Social media is a network thing. It's about individuals. So it's helpful if other people talk about SUNY Reconnect, elements of SUNY Reconnect. You can either like it or share it as an institution, but it's helpful to have more than just the main accounts talking about it. So if anyone here wanted to, get out there and talk about SUNY Reconnect, whatever element you're comfortable, you can do that.
And finally, to wrap the PISO model, we have our own channels. All roads lead back to what we own. This is what we have the most control over. It is our ability to establish brand authority, to establish credibility, and to really expand upon the narrative. This is where we write about our student success stories. We have our website. Obviously, we own our website, so we crafted a page that gives everyone a call to action and a way to learn about the program immediately. So advertisements, go to the website. Lenore's PR initiatives, go to the website. All roads lead to the main source of truth. We send the emails out to our prospective students in your slate. We also partnered with some other vendors to get our message out via email. And then we have print materials that we develop and distribute throughout the communities to superintendents, school districts, and make sure that the message is out there as much as we can. What's not on here as well is Lenore's News Center, news blog. So when I came several months ago, the exciting new part about the website is that we had an official news center now within the website, so we can syndicate our own information a lot easier too. So then finally, kind of going back to that original framework, two frameworks in this presentation, we talk about the outcomes. So these are some early indicators. We've really only been actively promoting this for about 2.5 months, just shy of 3 months. So looking at the PISO model down the side and the way that we measure the success of what we've been able to do so far. These are early indications for Lenore and my team in order to determine what is working well for the long haul, what are we going to repeat and do more of, what are we going to do less of. So we try to kind of explain why a certain metric might matter and how we're going to go about really marketing this now long term, because as we can tell, it's here to stay. And our students will have the opportunity to have this scholarship. So in the paid space, in 2.5 months, we've had over 1 million impressions, which is huge. We've generated, and actually these numbers are higher if I were to have run them this morning, about 3,000 clicks, I think today, and then 1,600 conversions. A conversion is what a person does after they click. So we want them to see the ad, click on the ad, and then do something. So the doing something part is what we like to measure on the marketing side, and the doing something is anything from signing up to talk to an admissions counselor, starting an application, submitting an application, or going to one of our eligible program pages and learning more about that program.
So on the earn side, 5 placements thus far. And again, Kristen said this is a marathon, not a sprint. So we will be working on this over time. Over time, we will have more material that we can share, more angles that we can talk about. We could say how many students, once we have our fall, report for enrollment, how many truly were enrolled in this program, how are they doing, the numbers, the breakdown, what courses or what programs are they taking. So again, once we have more new information, we can kind of share that out in different ways. Social media sharing, there's some mixed reactions there. I'll talk about that on the next slide. And that's one of the values of social media, is we're not just broadcasting out, is we're also listening, because the social media allows people to comment and you get to see what they're thinking.
And I'm pretty proud and excited to share the final stat here, and I wrote it down so I'll explain it correctly. So since the website went live May 16th, 14,000 unique visitors have visited that SUNY Reconnect page, and 600 of them have submitted an application to the college within 30 days, which I think is very significant in a 2.5 month span. And so that means we've been able to generate a lot of interest. We have the momentum of SUNY behind us as well. Media has covered this, so I think we've really received the positive momentum of, I was gonna say shrapnel, but that's not the right word I want, for really riding the wave of state enthusiasm for this.
But we always have to be careful, because we think this is a great program. We're so happy with it. How does the rest of the world feel about it? Not so great sometimes. So this is an example from Genesee Community College. We're watching how other people can put this out there, what they're saying. So some colleges like Genesee Community College have put out these very brief posts, and it's very vague. So free community college for adults is here. All adults? No, not all adults. All programs? No, not all programs, but you have to click the link in order to find that out. People don't like that. That's clickbait. And so you get, I don't know if you can read any of this, you get some pretty angry responses. It's not free. So we really have to be careful. And we have been careful about putting some of this stuff up front so that you don't click the link unless you have a pretty good idea whether this interests you or not. You do not just put up something super vague and say, click the link. See if it's like, see if you won, you know, it's like a publisher's clearinghouse. It's not something we really want to do. So again, getting at this a little bit more obliquely, we had a great example in what would be a perfect SUNY Reconnect in our outgoing PTK president, Austin Stadkus. So I asked if he would do a Q&A with me so we could talk about some of the fears he had when he went to college at age 30. He didn't go to college for all the reasons people don't go to college. They're afraid of debt, they don't know what to study, they see other people get 4-year degrees and then waitress and things like that. And so he, you know, shared his concerns, and then he shared what he disproved. He started coming and all the things that he did. And he ended up getting a really good job with a marketing company, which is exactly what he wanted to do. It's some really great advice. We posted that on our blog, or the news blog that's now on the website, and then we shared it through social media, and we got exactly what we had hoped for, which was other comments from other people who went to school as adults and said it was a great experience. So we're talking about some SUNY Reconnect issues without really kind of going right at the SUNY Connect legislation so that we can address the fear, the concern, all these other issues in a very positive way. When we ran some more traditional type posts, we did get a little bit of pushback, and not a lot, but we did get a little bit. So we had to have some comments and responses back to people to kind of calm them down, keep everything okay. So we haven't had anything this bad, and I hope we don't. But if we go at it a little bit less directly, I think we'll have some fun. I did sneak in the blog a little thing about SUNY Reconnect. So it's not that I'm not talking about it, but I'm just going at it, you know, in your face.
What do you have prepared for you tonight? Questions?
Just a couple thoughts. One is, what few complaints you get there about nothing's for free. Part of the thought that crossed my mind is those folks who are out there working have already paid for it. They just haven't taken advantage of it. Here it is. So it's free now, but you already paid for it in your taxes. The second thought was, has there been any consideration given to providing the public or that target group with some concept of what the income is that they could earn if they got one of those degrees? And I understand that's a wide range. But sometimes there's the incentive of you can go for no cost, which for that group is important. But also there's the T's, if you will, that they can get some idea of what the income range is if they're successful in the program, and it may be substantially more than their current earning.
Well, now is the point of this program too, they wanted to select high demand programs so that there was a much higher likelihood to find employment. And on each of our program pages, actually all of them for FLCC, we have a special tab that's called Career and Transfer. And so for all of our degree programs, we list out possible job titles. We link to ELS data through our career coach subscription. So students have the ability to go and see that off of our website. So we do have that information available, but yeah, to the extent that we will then push that out in future advertising, I think is a valid point too.
Yeah, if I was looking at something like that, but since 55 is clearly in the written for me. And I had some idea what the likelihood is of one getting a job, and two, what a range of salary would be. I'd be immediately plotting that increased salary against what my current salary or expenses are, getting much better idea of how I could improve my economic situation.
Which,
Do you think there's any value in reaching out to some specific social media posts? And I think through the foundation, some of our partners in the foundation who have Facebook pages who are actively in the arena of those core groups of degrees. And also Ontario County, I believe has a Facebook page. I would think that most of the towns were always seeking EMS professionals might want to begin hosting some of our materials.
Sure, yeah. Something that I mean, it's never suggested that, might be linked to something they share out.
any other comments, suggestions, questions? Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Does anybody have any other comments before I ask for a vote to adjourn? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Fred, Jeff, seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now we stand adjourned.
What's the absence? Thank you. I'll call the Finance and Facilities Committee meeting for August 6th to order. First item of business is to review the previous meeting's minutes. Comments and questions about that? Not?
Good evening. Been training for Jason tonight is great.
So, I'll let you start with the budget update.
Sounds good. Slide them up. Okay.
Give me a second. It's gonna be-
But
Section 30.
All right, so these are the results up on the screen as of June 30th that we have here. Starting with revenues, tuition revenue continues to be up compared to last year. Some of this contributed to increases in our summer tuition that we've had, even though we've continued deregistration throughout the summer, so strong numbers there. That's we also had slight increases in both fall and spring semesters as well. As for the other counties line, we anticipate this to be in line with budget for the year, for the full year. In July, we billed approximately $900,000 of charges for the summer tuition, summer sessions. Our sponsor contribution line, we're still waiting for the additional $150,000 from Ontario County, but I actually received an update from Mayor Gates today saying that there's a little mix up in issues that should be sent shortly, the next week or so. The other large line here is the miscellaneous revenues. We continue to invest our idle cash in interest-bearing CDs. That remains very strong. To date, in June, had $567,000 of interest income CDs, and then we anticipate through August, we'll have approximately $750,000. Well above what we had budgeted for. Questions on revenues?
Sure. Good smile.
Moving on to expenses. Overall expenses continue to be tracked favorable to budget. Savings in salary and compliance are primarily due to the vacancies throughout the year. It's worth noting that in August, we will have a 3 payroll months, so that will sort of fix that a little bit. With regard to some of the salary lines, utilities projecting and will most likely come in slightly above budget. This is mainly attributable to higher demands over both summer and winter energy costs. And that same is likely with supplies and expenses that probably kick up over the next month or two. This is largely the result of using contracting for services with regards to getting performing services for things that would have been done with positions. So it's sort of a block between the two. Any questions there?
Questions?
I'm going to move on to the resolution then. I believe Lindsay is online to speak to the first one regarding housing.
Hi, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. It's a long distance from Florida, so hopefully technology works out. All right, so today I'm here to speak about a new housing support agreement. FLCC previously entered a support agreement in 2015 between the College Association Housing and First Niagara for our old bond, but as we refinance and the bond for our new housing bond, we need to have another new support agreement. So looking for acceptance from the Board of Trustees. To have a little background information for you, we were in a bond agreement with Key Bank, but on August 29, 2024, I received a notice of exercise of their tender option via phone call on the last day and the last hour they're allowed to give me notice. So we didn't have much time to make too much of a decision. In December, Key Bank provided a new term sheet for us. And at that point, the executive committee and the board decided that we were going to go out to bid for a new bond instead of just agreeing to a new interest rate. We wanted to do our due diligence to make sure that we really were, vetting all the correct options out there. So the association board of directors created a resolution to permit the executive committee authority to explore bond refinancing. In March 2025, we started working with D.A. Davison and they issued the FLCC housing credit presentation. In May 2025, we surprisingly, and great news, received 8 term sheets submitted to D.A. Davison. Most community colleges that they've worked through in the last few years have received 1 or 2, but we've received 8, which is incredible and speaks volumes about FLCC. 7 of those were banks. 1 was a private assessment firm. After working with D.A. Davison and the executive committee, we decided to go with Rockefeller Asset Management as a selected. And we did that because of their fixed interest rate and their flexible parameters around the monies that we would be able to have with association housing. On June 23rd, I went to an Ontario County Local Development Corporation meeting regarding the housing bond and presented to them. On July 22nd, I went to Ontario County Economic Development public hearing, and there was no issues or concerns there. On July 28th, I went to the IDA board meeting, no concerns as well. And then on July 31st, there's a Board of Supervisors meeting. So today is kind of the follow-up to all of those meetings about supporting the new agreement. And from June to August, we've been doing weekly meetings, Carol, Jason, and myself with D.A. Davison, Association Bond Council, Rockefeller Bond Council, Nixon Peabody, UMB Bank, and Ontario County IDA. That's all the information I have for you.
Any comments or questions? Did the Board of Supervisors actually vote?
The Board of Supervisors meeting, I wasn't invited to. It was not an option, but what I've heard, there's no issues with that. So was there an official vote? I'm not certain, but I do know there was no concerns about it.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
And that's the next one. Names.
Oh, you go right back.
Yeah, I know. She's check aside.
Evening, members of the board. I have an agenda item for you to extend our Lucian contract for consulting to continue helping us with our development work. It's for a half-time person for the next year, starting September 1st. If you want, everyone's been talking about the SUNY Reconnect. That project alone has required us to write numerous programs to support all the different activities, 20 to 55 previous degrees, residents, approved programs, you name it, and then modify screens. So that's just a simple example of one initiative. It took us 60, 80 hours, if not more over time. So let's need to keep that going.
I just had curiosity because I've lost track. How many years have we had this?
I think the Aleutian contract that for consultants that I've had is started 2 or 3 years ago. There might have been ones before that.
It's before that. We've had it for, pretty sure each year that I've been here. And it's an obligation, in terms of the support that gives technical expertise that I can talk better than I can, but we've had it for many years since.
So they do a lot of different work too. They work on projects, and then when they don't have a specific project, which is rare, but it happens, we've been having them clean up our customizations. That's been working very well. They still occasionally help with the HR team if they have questions. We have what's called a flex service. So it's not like they're locked into one thing. When we need them, we call them. Jadale uses them routinely for Joe is the gentleman's name for financial aid support. So we exploit that heavily.
We use them as student accounts. So we have a student accounts director. They help partner with that, get that off the ground. So
They spend a great deal of time with the HR team cleaning up all the routines there. And we have some really nice documentation now that came out of that whole initiative.
Any other comments or questions?
Thank you.
Right, so I'll go through the next set of resolutions. The next one up is the approval of the management confidential salary schedule. This was included, the schedule was included in the 2025-26 operating budget.
Any questions or comments on that?
The next one is the approval of the Pinnacle North MOU. This MOU relates to the proposed development of the culinary and hospitality facility on a portion of land owned by the Antigua Area Development Corporation. Dr. Knight, do you want anything else to add to that, or just?
I think you're all well redone.
If we're going to affect form, I'm going to abstain on this one. Because I'm chair or president, we can't be very helpful.
I can't hear you.
We need Donna. Yeah, here. She said he'll have to abstain.
Oh,
From the
Jeff.
vote on
Yeah.
the Pinnacle North project.
I think that's.
Well, why don't we just move it to the bottom of the agenda and hopefully
She gets some.
it's in.
Yeah, because it won't be approved.
We'll wait for that.
Okay. Rich, you want to?
Sure, yeah, sounds good. The next one was the next resolutions for the renewal of lease between FLCC and New York Kitchen. There was no change to the monthly rate. However, the lab assistant rate decreased by $3 to $112, for instance, and the new fee, $50 weekly fee for food ordering services.
Any comments or questions about that? Okay.
The next one is the update to the resolution 36, which was approved in the June meeting regarding the student service fees schedule. The student health fee has been reduced to $8 per semester due to lower pricing from our student health services through Technicare. The original amount was $18 per semester. All other fees on the schedule remain unchanged. We're requesting that the June resolution be rescinded and approval of this updated student services fee schedule.
Comments or questions about that?
The next one is the approval of sponsored services through Ontario County. This totals $74,000. This amount covers our workers' comp insurance, which we obtained through the county's self-insured policy. The cost reflects the decrease from last year where we paid $87,000, so it's just unpaid for based on our experience.
Great. Comments, questions? Did you say it's a reduction?
Yes, reduction, sorry, from 87 to 74,000.
Yeah. Okay, the information on.
Yes. Commissioner, the first one I have on the list is a bid renewal for the maintenance and repairs of our boiler systems. This is the first of two available renewals. The renewal reflects a 2.3% increase in material costs and 10% in labor rates.
The default.
Yes.
Program?
Yes, this is the renewal for the contract with Senvion Education Solutions for fall pension services. Again, there's no changes to currently, just the first of two 12-month renewable extensions. The next one is for a quote acceptance from Sheen and Shine for janitorial services for the Geneva campus and FLC's Culture Center.
Comments?
Are they out of Geneva?
I believe they are. I think they are local to that area. They're here is PO Box in Rochester, but this would be the billing address. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Next one is for the lease renewal with SUNY for the rental office space of the FLCC Newark campus to house one of their employees.
Any rate changes? Or
No changes to their contracts.
comments?
And the last one is just budget transfers for moving budget dollars between our general lines.
Are there any items, any other items to probably put appointments facilities committee? If not, make a motion to adjourn. So. Second. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, I call the Board of Trustees meeting order.
Be on the spot.
It's a privilege and an honor for me to be able to do this swearing in ceremony for you. You raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, state your name,
Keisha Amon,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
that I will faithfully discharge,
and I will faithfully discharge,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
the duties of the position of trustee.
the duties of the position of trustee.
Welcome. Thank you. To me.
Okay, is there anyone on the call?
There is one, yes.
There isn't?
There is one.
I only want to have a question.
We don't believe so.
He said no question.
No questions.
Okay. So I'm gonna need a motion to approve Board of Trustees resolution, consent, agenda minutes, and
So moved.
Wait,
thank you.
switching.
We have the bylaws too.
You want to do that separately?
No, it's on the agenda, it's approved bylaws first, and then,
You want to do that separately?
yeah.
So I need a motion to approve the board of trustees, the bylaws, regulations, on board of trustees.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Now I need a motion to approve the consent agenda minutes of the
I'll move that.
second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, whole business. Oh. Where's that now?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First off, just a quick update on personnel, the Chief Human Resource Officer search. They should be looking at candidates next week or so. I don't have the exact date, but it was the first few weeks of August. Got more lost the search chair board. I don't know if you have the updates other than the first 2 weeks. 14th. So we still have a goal of having final interviews by the second week of September on campus for folks.
Should be on track.
But what I really want to highlight also in the update is we've brought a lot of new people very near past from faculty, 12 to 15 is 13 right now is the number I have. I don't know if you have a different one, Laura. We have new directors of development and alumni affairs, not quite titled, from Breeze area. You have some counselors that are supporting us. So, and there's many, many more, but there's a whole lot of people, a whole lot of new folks to bring goodness to FLCC that we're really glad to have on board and looking forward to having a whole lot of faculty here, staff to look at things in their ways, in different ways. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the past couple of months, I've been putting my updates into two areas. One, strategic plan, and two, our values. And so in terms of strategic plans, you heard a little bit about Pinnacle North. Bree has been monitoring very closely the Mueller Center bunkhouse that's ongoing without any issues. It will be very important to our strategic plan in terms of student success and community engagement. And Bree, I don't know if you want to mention anything because I know you're really, looking at it closely. So
That's right on track. So completion date right now, we're looking for November 20th. With a potential ribbon cutting ceremony that day. So stay tuned for more. The entire foundation assembly. So send a picture if anyone's interested, but it's right on track. It's great. And on track budget wise, which is going to be really.
and I forgot, but Laura mentioned in terms of faculty before I move on, our new associate vice provost instruction and curriculum. Okay, curriculum and instruction. Okay, who's on first? But in terms of other strategic plan activities, had a good piece of news today that the Cornell Cooperative Extension of Ontario County has approved that they will move forward with working on a project for the new greenhouse complex, which means now they can actually get the real study done that's got to get done to final costing, which will then go into the budget process in October.
That's a very big deal.
That was good news. Details to be worked out, but I was with the administrator at the board today when he got the email saying, okay, our board approved some details getting worked out. That's good. Now definitively move forward to get to that next step so we can hard numbers. In terms of our values, vitality, I wanted to highlight, we have our first LPN graduation on August 22nd. Everyone at BOT Trustees, staff members are invited that can make it on August 22nd at 10 a.m. And, this has been a long haul. We want to talk about strategic ideas and plans that come together. Those are long-term activities. That took from December of 19, when we announced the Sands Family Allied Health Center, to now having the final step of that, which was an LPN graduation. But what's great about it is next year's graduation will be double of what it is this year. So when you talk about strategic ideas and activities, that's one of those that it's a long term, and we have finally made it to where it's been a lot of hard work by a lot of people. get there. I also wanted to highlight, I have some other graduations from our workforce development you can read in my report. And then in terms of inquiry, I wanted to at least give you an update that, and it's listed in there, it's really exciting. It's kind of a similar idea that the Navy is working in terms of community college for all sailors, Marines, and Coast Guard persons. And the military has all of their military and educational training for all the services at Lackland Air Force Base and the Army base in San Antonio and they have a program called the Medical Education Training Center, and it has up to 16,500 students that go through. SUNY is partnering with them to be able to have programs online for those folks that may do the same thing. They want all of their military personnel that are getting medical training to get a 2-year degree. SUNY's approved us for several of our programs that I mentioned in the report. So, and that's a testament to people thinking a long time ago of the importance of online learning. And now, if you think about it, online learning into synchronous learning into iPlus in terms of long haul approaches to be able to provide folks that are there. And I mentioned to the county administrator yesterday, we have to look to get students to come to our college anywhere, anytime, any place. We have to do it because a third of our students are Ontario County students. Okay. Now, that's a good thing and a bad thing. So that's not good. But how many of those students then get some benefit for the country out of Ontario County? 55 counties, all counties in the state have students coming to our college. How many of them get an experience that they come back somewhere else? And those kind of things we need to tell the county that we're servicing a lot more folks that may be getting a service or an education in Gates County may end up in Ontario County, somewhere near the country. Wanted to highlight for perseverance. Chancellor has said that we are not on the chopping block for funding cuts for this fiscal year based on New York State. However, you have to be prepared. That's what he told us. He said, be prepared, but it's not coming. But you should be prepared for potential cuts coming in 2026, 2027 year for funding from the state, depending on how things flow through from Medicaid. No information, nothing yet. We've lost about $190,000 in funding for next year or currently on things that are going on, and the sky's not falling. And I also want to highlight the sky is not falling because this college has done a very good job of building up its general fund to a higher level than it was pre-COVID. And pre-COVID, we could last at a catastrophic activity for 2 years and technically only about 18 months because we have to make decisions based on our contract. Now, about 5 years. If you use the model or paradigm of when the state is going to take $2.2 million for our funding or 20% of our state funding, and you equate that, we have enough to last and take care of things for a number of years. So it gives us time to adapt and adjust and not have to rapid fire type of activity. So we diligently and thoughtfully look at how we're going to do this. And finally, for interconnectedness, let's say that this one's vitality, talking about vitality, inquiry, perseverance, interconnectedness. 2 things. One, we look forward to having you at the retreat coming up on August 12th. Our lead expert is going to lead us is Dave Padu, who's been doing exceptional work with the artificial intelligence think tank. And I think you'll enjoy that experience that comes out of it. And then second, August 21st, the supervisors are coming to college. And we are working on a presentation for the supervisors on education and technology for the college and what we are doing at the college to show them some of the things they're doing. And Jeff, yes, we are planning for them to see Enterprise. So they can do that. And actually, quite frankly, one of the supervisors the other day, their son was working in the incubator lab. I had to ask for some emergency last minute help to say, because he was leaving. And it's like, okay, can you just show me how to use the Enterprise real quick? Can you give me a 2-minute tutorial? It's that easy to use. And we had some folks visiting from the Rochester Educational Foundation to come up. And what was interesting about that was when you think about interconnectedness, This supervisor had 3 children go to FLCC.
Oh, wow.
And the third one was working in the lab and was there to help get somebody to show how to use that. It's there. That's interconnectedness. I'll give you another example of interconnectedness, not in my report that I just learned last week. I'm involved with the local YMCA, and one of the leaders of the YMCA was studying different things, came to FLCC, and she started working at the YMCA. And this is about 30 years ago. And she loved the YMCA so much, she stayed in the YMCA system. Traveled around the state a little bit, came back, she's working for the one here. Her son went to FLCC, and he got a degree in theater. His first job was working as Mickey Mouse down at. Now he's in IT. And the importance of that is the degrees our students get may not be what they're doing in the future, but it gave them the foundation for their path. Well, what was great when I was at this function is 2 of our former students who just graduated are now working for YMCA. So we have another intergenerational connection and a connection to the college that spreads throughout the area and then reinforces the people that we have in Ontario County that are doing great things and staying in Ontario County. So subject to your questions, that's my report for today.
Thank you. I doubt we have any, but are there any committee meetings out reports? Yes. All right. Okay. Have a motion to adjourn.
We have to vote on that. Vote on the whole consent agenda.
Yes.
We only voted, I thought, on the 2 areas. Okay, and you abstained. So with that,
Abstain one item out of the consent agenda.
so I think technically we should have done that separately as
Yeah.
a separate activity for that. So it is separate from the consent agenda.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. But I don't want too many people, too many organizations that work on it.
Right, right.
I don't want to hold it up. I'll vote for it.
Okay, so just for,
Everybody wants to object later on.
But the other thing we could do is I had told you, because I thought we were gonna need it sooner. But I found out, first off, the county administrator wasn't at the board meeting last week. And it hadn't gotten signed Monday, so I said, okay, probably could wait. So this board already approved a voice vote or email vote to do this. And so what I would recommend is either if you wish to do that, there's not a conflict of interest issue, either that or it can be voted next time. We've actually done the official resolution because you already gave an email voice vote to approve for the need to accomplish the task.
Yeah, and that's fine, but we're going to make it the proper,
so we can.
most appropriate.
Forum for the one person. Hold on.
Yes and no, but the board already provided a vote for it. So that then we would have, so yes, you'd have to pull it out, but it's separate from the rest of it. Or depending on how you feel.
I'm not hung up about it. Anyway, I don't have any trouble voting to approve the consent agenda. Okay?
But then we have to be, but it's consent agenda without the one resolution. They have to be noted.
What you're saying here.
That's statute.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're okay with the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay. We want it as is.
I'm okay with the MOU thing.
Okay.
We'll leave it as is.
All right, so who was first?
Yeah, someone else said Judge later. We'll do it.
Okay, now that.
So
Who wants to go? Got a second?
One second.
Thank you. Stan?
One of the members of the really fun. Looks forward to working with you. Doing some great things.
I know.
Really,